I'm a junior in high school, but not your typical type of high school. No, this is a Christian school. Better yet, not much of a school at all in my mind. Before I get you any more confused, I should use some manners. My name is Cameron Post. As I mentioned before, I'm in the 11th grade in a school called God's Promise. This is a school for healing. According to the counselor around here, Lydia, I need a lot of healing. Let me take you back a few years and explain how I ended up in this poor excuse of a place for healing. It started when I was younger, 11, maybe 12, with my best friend Irene Clausen. We were the typical type of best girlfriends, except we had a dirty little secret between the two of us. We used each other to practice kissing. I say that with a bit of a smirk on my face because she and I both know that we really weren't doing it for practice. We actually were enjoying it. The both of us knowing it was wrong, and if our parents ever found out that we would be dead meat. Kissing someone of the same gender, that's for sure a sin. Kissing girls was new for me and a little complicated to sort out, but the next event in my life was even more complicated. My parents died. They had gone on vacation at Quake Lake. They hit a guardrail and their car went into the lake, both of them. Gone. Just like that. My Aunt Ruth then took me in as her own child. It was me, her, and Grandma, all living together. Things were going as well as expected for a 12-year-old when they lose their parents. I had one heck of an attitude with Aunt Ruth and I started to run a little crazy. That's what got me into trouble. As time passed, I started to pick up some bad habits. I was drinking with my friends, which by the way were all boys. I was breaking into abandoned buildings and acting just like one of the guys. I even started to slightly think like them, you could say. I found myself being more and more interested in females and less interested in males. I couldn't exactly discuss this issue with anyone. I knew how I would be judged. I found myself reunited with a girl from Seattle named Lindsay, who I'd competed against in swim meet for years. It was the summer before my 8th grade, and Lindsay had cut her hair short, I mean real short, and even dyed it bleach blonde. I didn't know that getting her haircut made her stand out, being acquainted with the change in sexuality. After a few conversations with her, though, I started to realize that she was definitely a lesbian, and she automatically assumed that I was. I guess I never knew I gave off that type of vibe. Regardless, her and I had a few moments of making out that summer, but there were no feelings there, not like I'd had with Irene years before. The fling with Lindsay came and went, both of us staying in contact, but strictly as friends. High school came along and I ran into what would eventually be the girl who would put in God's Promise. Her name was Cooley Taylor. Cooley had a boyfriend. She and I were just friends at first, though. I was always the third wheel unless I had talked my best guy friend Jamie into joining along. The more time I spent around Cooley, the more I fell in love with her. She had no idea how I felt, but soon enough she would. One evening at her house when we were alone, I finally got to put my lips to hers. That was the beginning to a very secretive relationship. She still had her boyfriend, but we had our own thing going for us. Another night alone in Cooley's new apartment, things went further than they ever had with us. Cooley freaked out and told her brother about these events. She claimed that I took advantage of her, like I had brainwashed her. In Cooley's own words, I am very angry at you for taking advantage of our friendship in the ways that you did. She is such a liar. I wish I would have known she was that type of person, but I guess you learn from your mistakes. Regardless, Cooley's mother found out and told my Aunt Ruth. My Aunt Ruth told someone at the church, and that's how I ended up being shipped to this so-called school for healing homosexuals. This place is a joke. They tell me that I have to be here until I'm healed up and stop acting upon the desires I have in mind toward females. I hate it here, and because I hate it here, I will figure out how to leave. Two of my closest friends here are Adam and Jane. They are pretty cool. They don't like it here either. The master plan of our escape begins. We are blowing this popsicle stand just a few days left before our plan to take place. We asked permission to go on a hike and have a picnic. What Miss Know-It-All Lydia doesn't know is we're not coming back.